episode 46, part 3 of Kenya's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters podcast. Remember to jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan to support the Kenya Simbas as they are still looking to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in Japan in 2019. And as we are all about supporting sports and sports travel, we've partnered with Moran Sports and Travel to give you this brilliant offer for the Dubai Sevens on the 1st and 2nd of December. So for only $999, you get the full Dubai experience over and above the rugby. That is your desert safari, your nighttime barbecue, and your Dow cruise. There's so much more coming up on your screen. Before we start the Three Quarters podcast, we'd like to offer our sincere condolences to the families of Michael Kombe, John Wakesa and Peter Wakesa following their losses this weekend. I'm Jemima Duffield.
This is Ngashi, official noisemaker.
Jeringus Kenyana.
So Premier League wrap up from week 11 and preview of week 12.
Week 12. So this week 11 is when we had the Super Sunday. But anyway, the results from the big teams, West Ham losing to Liverpool 4-1. That game was played on Friday. Then we had Tottenham Hotspurs beat Crystal Palace 1-0. We had Manchester City beat Arsenal 3-1. And we had the shocker for me, Chelsea beating Manchester United 1-0. I did not expect that Chelsea were going to lose to United, purely on the basis of form. But they played a very good game. Fantastic goal by Alvaro Morata, of Azpilicueta. That name is very cross. Yeah, but it was a fantastic game and a fantastic performance by Chelsea. Week 12, a preview, of course, with the big teams. We have West Brom taking on Chelsea. We have Liverpool hosting Southampton at Anfield. We have Leicester hosting Manchester City at the King Power Stadium. We have Man United taking on Newcastle at the Theatre of Dreams, that's Old Trafford. And to me, what's going to be our feature game of the week come with 12, Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspurs, which is being played at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday 18th of November. It's going to be at the Emirates Stadium. That's the North London derby. The thing with about derbies that people don't understand is that there's a lot of emotion. So it's not on form. It's basically who seizes the day and who's on top on the day. It's just like a final. So, but again, let's be honest. Spurs have been on the run. They've had a very good Premier League run. They recently beat Real Madrid at the Wembley Stadium. So, yes, okay. Pragmatic bet, Spurs. But hey, my heart is red, so I'm going to be going with Arsenal.
Definitely. I'll stick with you, Arsenal, all day. However, as disappointing as that team can be, I still have to support them. I can see Manchester City looking like champions. These guys are now unbeaten. They're still unbeaten at the end of week 11. 8 points clear from Manchester United. Manchester still sits at second with 23 points, same as Chelsea now. So rather, Chelsea is 22. Arsenal are sitting 12 points behind. Come on, you don't expect these guys to drop 8 points easily. Even if a lot of games are yet to be played. So, Man City, I think, my money is on them.
Okay. Now, on to Formula One. The season is all but wrapped up. What do you think of the 2017 season?
It was a very good season, especially towards the last 3 races. You still have 2 to go. I'd say, looking back at the season, I think it was all determined after the Japanese Grand Prix. When Sebastian Vettel did not finish and Hamilton went on to win it, that kind of sealed it all. But come Mexico, what happened when it started off? The two collided, Hamilton and Vettel, pushing Hamilton to the back. What did Vettel have to do? He had to win that race and hope that Hamilton doesn't score any points. It went down to the wire, Hamilton narrowly getting to 9th. All in all, Hamilton is a deserved winner. Kudos to him. And then just to note, Felipe Massa of Williams is set to retire at 36. This is the second time though. So maybe we'll see him next year.
It's like a drag. Lewis Hamilton now with four championships, right? Equaling also Sebastian Vettel. They are the third. I can't remember who was 5, but of course the person with the most is Michael Schumacher with 7 titles. When we were starting the when they were starting the season this year in Australia, right?
Yes.
Yes, I think we made the call that it was going to go down between Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel,
Yes.
and that's what happened. So kudos to Lewis Hamilton. I mean, he's been, and it's funny that now he's an old dog, and when he was winning in 2008, he was one of the young tags. So, I mean, kudos to Lewis Hamilton. He definitely does deserve the championship this year.
Alright. Now, on to matters tennis. Rafael Nadal will end the year as number one, according to ATP rankings. Let's just talk about the men and women's rankings for that.
I mean, I'd like to narrow it to Rafael Nadal because of what he's been able to do this year. He was battling with form. He had really dipped come the end of 2016, and no one was really talking about Rafael Nadal being anywhere in 2017. Come the French Open, I mean, he's the king of the clay court. He got his 10th Roland Garros. Then take it to, he had his Flushing Meadows in New York, the US Open. He won his third US Open this year. But the most important thing is that, look, Rafael Nadal is only 31 years. And we've been watching this guy for the last 15 years. So he broke into professional tennis when he was about 16 years. And he's been at the top from when he was 18. He's been at the top of tennis. And by the way, he's the oldest person to ever finish the year as number one.
Federer didn't even pull that.
Yeah, Federer didn't even pull that at 31 years. So, I mean, kudos to, he's had a fantastic year, Rafael Nadal. And it's good to see him back in the thick of things. My only worry is that, because they're all contemporaries, Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic, and they've been like the most dominant people in the last 10, 15 years. And people argue like this has been the best tennis combination ever in terms of talent. So that means they're going to be retiring about the same time. So then what happens to the standard of tennis? But hey, that's for later on. For now, kudos to Rafael Nadal for finishing number one after what has been a tough last 2 years or thereabouts.
What was shocking is how far off Federer is coming in second, a difference of about 1,000 points. Well, Federer only won the Australian Open, and that was just it. As well, shocking as well was where Andy Murray and Djokovic were. Andy Murray is sitting 16, Djokovic is 12. And Djokovic, remember, he was at one point the one number one for quite a long period. Yeah. So all in all, yeah, he deserves to be. Nadal deserves to be at the top of things. Yeah, and they can only wish him much more success. Retirement, I think Federer will go out first.
Federer is old, man. He's old. And he's been there for a minute.
Yeah,
so
he's been there for quite a long time.
Yeah.
I think we'll be seeing now more of Djokovic and Nadal getting out against each other. Yeah.
And Andy Murray, of course.
Andy Murray on and off. But you know how British press try and really up the players at one of their own, and you think he's the best of the best.
He has been for a minute, though.
Not the best of the best.
Not the best of the best, but he's
in the thick of things, yes.
Yeah.
But not the best of the best.
But who wouldn't hype their own? I mean, I'm just, well, what happened with Sport Pesa saying, to Giamini, and Gus is like, but they hype their own. Anyway. All right, now moving on to the bonus segment, where until 2002, Kenya was a part of the WRC, and the Safari Rally was regarded as the toughest rally, basically. Yeah.
Yes.
So our question is, do you think that Kenya has what is needed to have the Safari returned, to the WRC? And if not, what do you think needs to be done? And then also, yes, hold your horses. With the popularity of F1 in Kenya, do you think that it's high time we begin considering a bid to have a leg rather in Nairobi? And what needs to be done?
Well, this is a brief history on the Safari Rally. This thing started off back in 1953 to celebrate the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. Then it was called the East African Safari because it involved both Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. These guys used to drive over 1,000 kilometers of timed stages. Yeah. So then, come around the 70s, that's when it became now Safari Rally. Went on until now, till to date. 2002 is when it was last held as a WRC stage. Event, not a stage. Stage is more of the competitive sections. Reasons that it was taken away was the reasons given were financial. It was a finance issue, and as well as the organizational bit. I think of the organizational bit it was more these guys wanted closed routes, closed sections, and all. I think we have that done. that right now, currently, as the safari that you have at the KCB bit, we have the closed sections being done because you can't easily, as a fan, just walk or drive into the stages once the rally is started. On the financial bit, the government was the main sponsors of this thing back then. The coffers were ran dry, or maybe some guys were mismanaging the money. We don't know that story very well. But now that we are trying to push it, especially what Phineas Kimathi, the chairman of the KMSF, Kenya Motorsports Foundation, Federation, sorry, not Foundation, Federation, he's been trying to push for the safari to get back into the WRC, possibly as soon as 2019. So, and he has the government back. It's fantastic, and they also need to bring in corporates as well, because you cannot solely depend on the government. So bring in the corporates. On the Formula One, it's positive that the fan base is increasing, and that is good for the sport. However, we don't even have a track that you can use even for Formula 3, let's say. We only have go-karting and all that is in Carnival, and one recently opened in Rift Valley. So let's get that sorted out fast. Show the Formula One body that we are interested in this. And you can have this, then you can start bidding for that. Maybe South Africa will beat us to that.
The Safari Rally was an integral part of the Kenyan culture. Like every Easter, that's what families used to do. I remember as a kid, I used to be taken to Konabaridi to watch those, to watch the rallies when Tommy Makinen and the likes were the guy who died, Colin McRae, they're the ones who were racing. So as Ngus has aptly put it, the reason why we lost the bid was because of finance issues, which was government backing. And I would like to highlight the part where corporates come and get involved. Even just hinging on what these sport players are doing, like the Tujiamini campaign. That's why I think we need to rope in all the corporates to come and fund this thing, because I think about it, like if Red Bull come and there's the Safari is part of WRC. I as Red Bull don't see the need to be shipping in stuff. So I set up a plant here. So it's also good for the economy from that perspective. I remember back in the days, like many car making factories had a base here because of that, largely also because of the Safari Rally being a part of the WRC. So I think it can be done, and especially with the money some of these corporates are making. Kenya Airways is sponsoring the East African Classic, which is actually happening as we speak, or is going to be starting soon. So I think, yeah, I mean, corporates are the ones who really need to get into it, number one. On the issue of Formula One, I was at Tamasha during on Sunday, New Mexico, the New Mexico Grand Prix. And that's the first time I've seen, I'm a regular Tamasha on Sunday, that's the first time I've seen the big screen be shut down. And like everyone is watching Formula One, you guys are not watching the videos. And the crowd is big. There's a following that goes to Choices every time there's a Grand Prix in the world, sorry. They go and watch this Formula One at Choices. And there's a big Formula One following. Now, it comes now to the point of organization. We go back to like the interview we had with the person who was running for chairman for Kenya Rugby, Sasha Mutai. Sasha told us that there's 1,018 acres that has been reserved for each and every federation. The master plan actually had a track for Formula One, but we've been unable to utilize it. And the money that it's going to bring, I was looking at the number of sponsors who are sponsoring the New Mexico Grand Prix. Rolex, The Works, Fly Emirates, or DHL, all those guys. I think it can be a hell lot of money that us guys can generate from it. So it's never, as I wrap up, capacity has never been the problem for Kenya. I just think it's the people behind and the people managing. That's where the problem is.
I wonder how many guys that watch your podcast are Formula One supporters. I'd actually like to know. Guys, remember, your comments don't go unnoticed. You can like our page on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Jemima Duffield.
This is Ngashi, official noisemaker.
Jeringus, Kenyana.
See you next week for episode 47.